Hey everyone, it's Lauren again. I have my board meeting that I'm ready to discuss. I went to a board meeting for Weatherford. Big surprise there. It was just a regular board meeting that I went to. It was on January 15th. They meet every Thursday of each month. It was called to order, I'm sure the exact same way that your school board meetings were. And they start every meeting in Weatherford with recognitions, and they start them with sometimes it's high school kids, sometimes it's junior high. Athletics, academics, just depends on what needs to be recognized for the month. I think last month they recognized our Shrek musical kiddos that at the high school that put that on. So it's all different people that they recognize, but they always start with that. And then they head on over to recognizing a campus. Each meeting, they have a campus come, and that campus is kind of like the host of the meeting to let everyone know what's going on at their school. Obviously, I noticed several leadership skills during this meeting. Some were very overt, and some were more in the background. This course definitely taught me to realize that people are leaders, whether they're in the limelight or they're not. The most obvious one was our president. His name is Paul Pascal. He actually just announced that he's retiring this year, which is really sad because he's done a lot of good things for Weatherford. But he was not afraid to assert the room if he needed to. He made it very clear what the rules were, how school board meetings worked, what the public's allowed to do, what the public's not allowed to do. But then at the same time, he was still very kind. It was School Board Recognition Month when I went, and a lady from a teacher organization came and she brought kind of goodie bags for all the school board members and, publicly thanked them for everything they do, all the sacrifices they make, and things like that. And he was very quick to make sure that everyone in the room knew that it wasn't all about him just because he was the president and she was or he was the one that she was addressing. He made sure that everyone knew that the members on the school board are what help him and what makes it possible for his success and the school board's success. I really appreciated that Mr. Pascal put others before himself, and before getting the pat on the back, he made sure and gave the other people the pat on their back that they deserve, and that it wasn't all about him, and that to me was a sign of a good leader. There was another person who I saw that was in a leadership role, but she was more in the backgrounds, and her name is Charlotte Legrone, and she is the Executive Director of Organizational Excellence in Weatherford. She wears many, many, many hats for our district. I don't know her personally. I've only heard wonderful things about her and how personable she is, relatable. Everyone has nothing but amazing things to say about her. So I was excited whenever I realized that she was going to be there, and she's the one that kind of lays out the agenda. Um, it was exciting to me to see her in action because everyone has wonderful things to say about her. Charlotte led the way in the recognitions, and on this school board meeting, they recognized the football players that made, I think, all-state academic also, and she made sure that each kid, she knew their names, she had them in the exact order they needed to be in. When she called their name, she made eye contact with them. They knew exactly who they were supposed to go to. You could tell she had a rapport with them before the meeting. She also made sure that the parents of the kids that were at the campus that was being represented, so they bring kids and they show things for the campus that's being done. And she made sure that they all had a seat to sit, that all the kids were comfortable, that they were calm. And you could tell that some of them were so nervous, and she just would smile at them and give them an encouraging word, and immediately they were calm. It was so wonderful to watch that and to watch how just a simple smile can make a big difference in someone else. And that's something else we learned in this course about smiling, and that's something that I really want to work on to make sure that I'm portraying positive thoughts and showing positivity to other people. And positivity is so contagious, and you could tell with her and how she was leading that meeting and with the other people that were there. Charlotte is definitely a pro at encouraging the heart. That's how she leads, that's how she gets people to follow, and she puts her heart out there and lets them see what her plan is or what her goal is. And it was neat to see that. There was one more person that I observed displaying other leadership skills, and this person is Dr. Kathy Ray. She's our new deputy superintendent. She just started in January, so when I had went, she had just been with the district for a week or two, and she had to not only be introduced to the well, not to the board because they knew that they were hiring her, but she had to be introduced to the public at the meeting, and then she had to turn directly around and give the taper report for Weatherford ISD, which I thought, whoo, yikes, that's a lot to do in just one short meeting. And I would have, if I were her, I would have been visibly nervous, but she was calm and collected. Um, she was very smart in the way that she was speaking. I was very impressed. She had big shoes to fill from our deputy and superintendent that left before, and so I was kind of curious to see how she would handle things. Sorry, my computer had a little glitch there. I don't know what's going on. She was very encouraging on the positive things that were happening for Weatherford ISD, but she also didn't shy away from the issues, um, which I liked because even though she was new, she wasn't scared to say, hey, this is what we need to work on. These are our goals. And she made it very obvious what we need to push for. But at the same time, on the flip of that coin, she was very understanding and giving praise and credit where hard work had been done. WISD had a 0% dropout rate this past year. And she acknowledged the teachers, the counselors, the administrators that it took to make that possible. And she, talked about how wonderful that is. But she also talked about, you know, salaries for teachers on the taper report are under because we have to compete with the Metroplex. And she was very obvious to the board who's in charge of that that's a goal we need to work on in Weatherford ISD is to maintain um, competitive rates with salary. In the end, I was thankful that I went to this meeting. It was very helpful. I learned a lot. Um, I learned that I could meet a lot of different people in one setting, and everyone was wondering why I was there, which I thought was a little sad because that means that there's not a lot of teachers being represented there and showing their faces and being seen in that manner. And so I thought, I'm making it a goal that I go attend more school board meetings just so I know what's going on with the district and things like that. The school board meeting in February was about the bond that's being called for in Weatherford, and I had to miss that because I had prior engagements with my kids, but I heard that that was kind of a doozy one. So, anyways, thank y'all so much. I appreciate you, and see you soon.